It's a nice little ad. I like it. The jingle bells. Or sleigh bells? What would you call these?
I call them jingle bells.
These are jingle bells, right? The rhythm makes, I don't know, something about the sleigh. Anyways, good morning. It's Christmas Eve. Happy holidays. The Bills and Eagles play on Sunday. The Sabres have won 7 in a row, and people are feeling pretty good about it right now. Now on the Western Hotline, Sal Capaccio. Good morning, Sal. Merry Christmas.
Good morning. Merry Christmas. I would call those sleigh bells.
Sleigh bells.
I mean,
right?
Jingle bells is just like, it's like jingle bells. It's not you're jingling something. Like, those are sleigh bells. Like, it's a noun, right? Those are actual bells. Those are sleigh bells.
Right.
Jingle is the part of, like, what you do with the bell.
Okay.
You jingle them.
Yes. They're the same types of bells, right? But it's just about, the sleigh bells are on, like, a stick, right? And, you shake them?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yes. That's correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I got it.
Right? I mean, that's the way I
right.
look at it. I don't know.
I think you're right.
I would call those sleigh bells.
I've never thought of differentiating the two, but I think you're onto it. So Sal will have his "'Twas the Night Before Buffalo Sports Christmas" coming up a little bit later in this segment. So stay tuned for that. We're gonna make you wait for it, so you got to stick around to hear Sal's poem coming up in a couple of minutes. We'll start with the Sabres, Sal. I know you're watching these games, and man, how they look right now, like there is always that little extra buzz in the air when they're playing well. And, man, I think they've got people believing, especially because, like the season started so poorly, but they were so injured. The fact that they're doing this now that they're healthy, I think there's a real belief that people believe that this could continue.
Oh, I agree. And I think that, we talk about talent, how much they actually have, they don't. I think we've all seen, like, they have some good young players, right? We can debate, like, how good and all those kinds of things, but it's finally starting to show a little bit together with a bit of a mix-in of some of the guys have been here, and it's what we've been waiting to see. And now, it's the old cliches of hockey and all sports. They're finding ways to win game. They're figuring out how to win games, and that's pretty cool to see. I agree that when the Sabres are really good, there is a very, very awesome buzz in the air. And if you could do it at the same time with the Bills, it's pretty cool here in Western New York. Honestly, Joe, we have plans on Saturday night.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking right now, even those plans, I want to change those plans and go to the arena, man, and watch the Sabres Bruins because it's going to be pretty awesome.
I know, me too. The opponent is good for this. I mean, it's Boston.
Yes.
You're at home. And it's a Saturday night. Most people are off the couple of days leading up to that. Yeah, I think the building Saturday could be rocking as much as it has in years.
Agreed. I remember the night before the Bills played the Chiefs, Ovechkin and the Caps were in town. And that was the night that Ovechkin was, looking for 900, right? Was it 900? He was at 899?
Yes.
And he didn't get it that night, but that was a buzz. And then the Chiefs were in town the next day, so that was a big deal. And the arena, it was actually Hockey Fights Cancer Night, which is a big night always.
Yep.
Inside KeyBank Center. And it was a great game, and it goes to overtime. And I remember after that, my wife said to me, I've never heard the arena this loud. And I'm like, this is how it's supposed to be all the time. And I'm thinking about, like, Saturday, like that even more so. You know what I mean? And because you're right, the Bruins are different than the Caps when it comes to this. And now you've won 7 in a row, and we're a whole month after that, and you're starting to feel like, okay, this could actually happen.
Yeah. There's no Chara and Lucic and Marchand anymore, but yeah, just something about that sweater. If they can win on Saturday to get to 8 in a row and it's against them, maybe it doesn't matter who they're playing, but I think it might. It's a little extra cherry on top if they can have a good night.
Listen, Joe,
Saturday.
Let me tell you something. All right, I don't care about. You're right. Chara and Lucic. When I close my eyes, when I go to a game, if I see the Boston Bruins, I still see Bruce Shoebottom and Rick Middleton and Cam Neely. Okay, that's what I see, and I don't care. So just go out there and do your business against them.
Brad Park. Yeah, every generation's got their Bruins villain.
Man. That's exactly right. Yes.
Sal Capaccio with us on the West Her Hotline. So to the Bills, Sal, the injury update from yesterday is a unique one, right? Because it's McDermott talking for the second time in a week, but we don't have an injury report. So did we learn anything about anybody really yesterday?
Not really, because we don't have a full actual official injury report. I guess, we did learn something yesterday that there's still been no setbacks with Josh Allen. He's still on track to play on Sunday, but he didn't practice yesterday. was a walkthrough. McDermott said Mitch Trubisky would get the work at quarterback. But Josh even confirmed, he's going to play on Sunday. Everything seems in line for that. But, it's something to monitor as, it goes on, as the week goes on. So, we'll see how it actually turns out. And, the other guys, I guess, would say Matt Prater, Jordan Poyer, Daquan Jones, Dalton Kincaid. So, yeah.
Yeah. On Prater, is it interesting at all to you that they were working out kickers yesterday? Do you think that might say more about Michael Badgley than it says about Prater?
Probably about both, right? If they're still working out kickers, I asked Sean excuse me, sorry, I asked Sean McDermott specifically about Prater. He said we'll see how the week goes. He didn't want to declare him out necessarily yet. He also didn't want to declare him in for the week, but the fact that they brought in some kickers, I think that probably also means that they're not really happy with what they saw in Badgley. And, he didn't have a very good day. He missed the extra point. He obviously hit the landing zone, missed the landing zone on a kickoff, which cost them field position. And those are things that you just can't have happen, especially in close games, which obviously that turned out to be a close game against the Browns.
Yeah, I wonder how nervous people would be about that position if Prater had something that was gonna bother him going forward. Because Bass isn't coming back, and that position, I mean, it's kicker, but your season could come down to it, right? And depending on who is taking that kick, you're gonna have different levels of confidence. And I don't know, Sal, Prater has been solid, right? I don't think there is a giant booming leg there like there once was. I think if they needed a 63-yard field goal in a big spot, they might not have the guy for that. But he's been pretty consistent, I would say, throughout the year.
Yeah, I'd say so. He's missed, 3 extra points. Now, a couple have been one in Houston, you can't miss. You're in a dome, and it actually wound up really hurting him because as the game went on, the game flowed a little bit differently because of that. Those things could happen, and I went and looked. I think there's about 10 or 12 kickers who haven't missed an extra point. Most have at least one. You don't want to have 3 missed extra points on the season, but he does. But I don't think there have been too many real critical blemishes. You know what I mean? I think he's been pretty good when they've needed him to be good, and honestly, kickoffs too, right? I mean, they're doing a nice job. We're not talking here about some issues on the kickoff and not getting it to where they need to. That's generally landing between the 5 and the goal line. That's what you want. So yeah, I think getting Matt Prater back will be good. Based on McDermott's answer yesterday, hopefully, even if this week he's out, you're not looking at a situation where you're scrambling for kickers in the playoffs.
Right. I feel like the kickoff thing this year is you want to avoid touchbacks, right? And this year, I wonder what their average field position start would be on defense. But Prater and the Bills have the 5th lowest touchback percentage in the league this year at 11%. So I feel like that's what they want, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so
that's what they want. I would say that's right. And most teams don't want to kick it into the end zone. Sometimes you do see towards the end of the game, got a 10-point lead, 2 minutes left, just kick it into the end zone. You don't want to give them any life. Just get them at the 35, let them drive. They need 2 possessions. You might see something like that. But generally, throughout the game, I think what we've seen here, Joe, is it's funny how much we all talked about what would the strategy be. Remember the talk in the offseason? Mm-hmm. What's the strategy? What are teams going to do? The new kickoff rule at the 35. I think we've seen all teams do this, which is the strategy is you kick it as close to the goal line as possible, but don't put it in the end zone.
Right. I saw this actually yesterday, now that we're talking about this, that there's one team in the league that has decided recently that they're going to do it differently. I think the Rams. The Rams this year, there's no team in the league above 33% touchback percentage except the Rams, who are at 59%. And they're at 82% in their last 3 weeks. So I don't know what's happening there, but in the last month, they've decided they're going to do it differently than the rest of the league. I don't know why they would decide that. Maybe they're having a kicker issue or something. But
they did just fire their special teams coordinator.
That's right. They did do that. So maybe that's part of it. I'm not sure.
It's actually funny that you say that because now I'm looking, and I think this would be the Rams. I want to make sure it's not the Chargers. The Rams actually, believe it or not, have the best defensive kickoff return coverage numbers in the league. They're the only team in the league, and I don't know how much of this would be now we're how much is baked into what we're talking about here with what you're saying.
Yeah.
But they allow less than 20 yards of kickoff return. No other team is that low.
But part of that is they're not covering as many kicks as other teams in the league.
Oh, that's what you're saying. Yep, that's right. That would be right.
Smaller sample size. So
that's exactly right.
That's strange. What's going on there? Sal Capaccio with us on the Western Hotline. So I want to get your thought on what could happen next week. I mean, if the Bills win this week and the Patriots do what I think most expect, which is that they will beat the New York Jets, do you have a thought on what the schedule might look like? I talked about this a little bit last hour. Either the Patriots or the Bills could have a real advantage if the other team plays on Saturday because you get more information. Like if New England played on Saturday and they win, clinch the division, then the Bills would know, all right, it's just seeding now, and they could treat it a little differently with resting players and vice versa. Do you feel like it's possible at all that one of those two games would be played at a different time, or do you think we're probably headed for they would be scheduled at the same time?
I do think it's possible, and the reason why I say that now, I don't know. I don't think it's likely, just by the simple fact of numbers, first of all, right? You know what I mean? Like, you only have a certain amount of games you can put there, and because it just feels like they would want the games at the same time. The reason I say it's possible, though, Joe, is I just look at past history. The NFL did this 2 years ago with the Kansas City Chiefs. Well, maybe it was a couple. Well,
there was a Chiefs Broncos game. I remember mattering on a Saturday, I think.
Okay, there's a Chiefs Raiders game.
Or Chiefs Raiders, right? Yes.
From 2022, where if the Chiefs won, they wrapped up like the 1 seed, but they had to win.
Right.
And if they didn't win, it kind of then they opened the door for the Bills or Bengals, whoever that year I think it was. Okay, you go to 2023, Steelers at 10-7, playing the Ravens at 13-4. Texans and Colts mattered. They put on Saturday. But then last year, I'm trying to remember. Look at all the AFC North teams that played last year. Bengals, Steelers, Ravens, they all impacted other things happening. I do think it's possible because I guess it's my way of saying I think that even though other games and other teams are impacted by these teams, they're still putting them on a Saturday or Sunday. The reason why you could see, I can give you a reason why you might put the Patriots. Let's say the Bills and Patriots have the same result this coming week. They both win, right? Patriots have to win the division. Patriots still have to win the division. Bills need Patriots to lose for that to happen. They could simply just put the Patriots on Saturday and go, look, this is a must-see TV game on Saturday. Patriots have to win the division. They have to win, and I think the NFL would love that. And if they do wind up not winning, then you're right. It puts the Bills in a position where they could rest players, but I think they get what they want on a Saturday. You go the other way and say, look, the Bills need to win no matter what. And if they do, it puts pressure on the Patriots to win on Sunday, right? So now you're getting two games where teams do have to win. I think the more likely scenario is you're playing each other, you're playing at the same time as each other, and then to me it becomes about scoreboard watching for the Bills. Right. Which is, and again, this is all assuming the Bills win next week, which you can't assume. I get it. Yep. But let's just say it's the same result. Maybe then the Bills start looking at the scoreboard week 18, and if the Patriots are beating the Dolphins and you know they're going to win, they start pulling guys back. I don't know.
Right, that makes sense. Wouldn't it also make sense, because part of this equation is the league is going to want games that other fans around the country are interested in, and Bills-Jets, when we're not sure that it will mean anything, right? Like it could. The Bills winning would keep the division alive, and then it's the Jets on the other side. I'm not sure they have to be different than Miami, but I almost feel like the New England game would be more likely to put there, because that has meaning. It's New England wins, they win the division, and that's what's on the line. So does that make sense that would be more likely to go on that Saturday than the Bills game would?
No, I don't know.
You think it could be either way?
Maybe, because of what you're saying for the Saturday, like what you want on a Saturday, right? Is that why you're saying? Because the league wants a Saturday game to be more meaningful.
Yeah, and I'm not sure Bills-Jets has enough meaning compared to New England. You know what it is. It's they win the division if they win the football game.
Did Browns-Ravens have enough meaning last year? Browns had 3 wins.
I was just looking at that. I think, am I right in remembering, because the Steelers were 1 game back of Baltimore going into that Saturday, that there was a weird thing that people didn't like, how Pittsburgh...
That's right. I agree.
They knew that they were dead before they played Saturday night because of the way they scheduled it.
Okay, so there you go. Maybe that's your indication that, you know what, they're still willing to do it where a team gets... But you're right. I think I do also wonder, I don't think it matters too much, but there is a storyline of the final game maybe at Highmark Stadium, right?
Okay. Right.
And you wonder if the league would highlight that in any capacity, right? And say, you know what, we're going to make it a standalone game on a Saturday, and we're gonna use it to share and show memories, and the Bills still need to win, so that's a big deal, right? Yep. So maybe that's why.
Yeah, the other thing, to obviously look at, and we can do this next week too, is what games around the league have meaning and how many of them are there, because you can only put one on Sunday night and they'll want to put a couple on Saturday too. But I'm not sure there will be a lot of those. But again, we'll have time for that.
And by the way, that Sunday night game, aren't we? I mean, at this point, it's got to be, to me, either Chargers at Broncos or Seahawks 49ers.
Yeah, I mean, Panthers Bucks could be for the division, but I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I don't know if that's the most enticing two teams people want to watch. But that has meaning. I think Chargers Broncos has a real shot at it if that's got a lot of meaning to it. That would be the one I would look at. Otherwise,
yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, like Bears-Lions is at a point where the Bears are pretty much locking stuff up, and the Lions don't have a great look anymore.
I guess that would depend on what the Packers do too in that situation.
Yep, and they play Baltimore this week, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Sal Capaccio with us on the Western Hotline. One last thing before we get to twas the night before Buffalo Sports Christmas here. Pro Bowl yesterday. You got any thoughts on how that ended up going? I mean, there was some Twitter reaction to Gilliam not getting onto the team, right?
I was one of the Twitter reactors. Okay. I was very much into the, hey, I don't normally care about this, which I don't really that much. It's nice, you cover it, and you love seeing these guys get recognized, right? But that's a guy that deserves to be recognized for what he did. And what bothered me about Reggie Gilliam not making it, I mean, Patrick Ricard is a nice player. He played 9 games this year. He's the fullback for the AFC.
Right.
He's played 9 games, and he got in over the fullback who has been instrumental in the Bills' number 1 rushing attack this year.
Right. That should qualify, it feels like. Given he also does a million other things for the Bills, like special teams, and he'll play tight end. And
that's right.
He's also their tush pusher right now. He's the guy that's throwing Josh Allen forward. That matters. So
yeah, I didn't like the fact that he didn't make it. So that. And we all know that that's not what matters, you hope that you're playing, in the Super Bowl, and then the Pro Bowl stuff doesn't matter and all that kind of thing. I get it. Like, I totally get it. But, these guys, they have incentives. It impacts, 50-year options for certain players. Although, so there is something that matters Pro Bowl to a lot of people and to the players themselves.
Which is almost why it's kind of amazing that some of that money stuff is baked into Pro Bowl voting. Because
I think it's incredible.
Pro Bowl voting is... I mean, it's so meaningless because it's such a popularity contest. You mentioned how Ricard makes it playing 9 games. So Joe Alt made the Pro Bowl playing 6 games. And I saw a lot of Charger fans not happy that, wait, you put him in the Pro Bowl for playing 6 games this year, and now our team's got to pay him more on the 5th-year option because of that.
That's right. That's right. That's exactly right. It's kind of wild, right, when you think about that.
Steve Palazzolo had a funny tweet, which is maybe that the Chiefs, Raiders, and Broncos fans all voted for Joe Alt to make it harder on the Chargers.
Oh, my God. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
And then you had, 3 teams that did not have Pro Bowlers. Who would have thought, Joe, the Vikings wouldn't have any?
Right, because that roster's loaded. I mean, Jefferson just had such a bad year because of the quarterback, so I guess that kind of makes sense, but... Who were the other teams that didn't have one? I didn't see that. Minnesota and...
You want to guess? There's 2 more.
The Raiders didn't have a Pro Bowler, probably? Or did Max Crosby?
No, they did. I don't know who, but they did.
Probably Max
Crosby, maybe?
This is a good game. Who didn't... The Giants?
No, you were about to say it.
Was I? I was about to say Giants.
You said the Giants.
The Jets.
The Jets?
Okay.
Yep. I guess for a second year in a row they didn't, I think, from what I read.
Maybe New Orleans?
Yes, that's right.
Okay,
Saints, Jets, and Vikings, from what I read, the only 3 teams that did not have a Pro Bowler.
Gotcha. I saw New England complaining they didn't have Pro Bowlers today, so they're in that stage of their existence.
I do think Marcus Jones, he should have made it, right? And he didn't. I think Marcus Jones was left out, and that's probably a pretty good gripe right there.
Yeah, that's right. All right, enough Pro Bowl talk for now. It's not even a game. It's like, flag football and dodgeball at this point. Sal Capaccio with us, and it is time for the annual poem that everybody is looking forward to, that you've all been waiting through the last 20 minutes for. It's time for Sal Capaccio to tell us the night before Buffalo Sports Christmas.
'Twas the night before Christmas throughout all of Buffalo, waking up to our Sabres winning 7 in a row. The year started out like too many others before, a title game in KC, but the wrong end of the final score. It took 2 wins at home for the Bills to get that far, so they dominated Bo Nix, then turned over Lamar. Out in Arrowhead, they certainly had their shot, and things might have been different if not for that fourth down spot. Josh Allen finally got his hardware, forever joining the MVP winners. Then he tied the knot with that famous actress from Sinners. They drafted Max Hairston, that kid can really scoot, then paid Cook, Shakir, Bernard, Benford, and Groot. After the draft, all the wide receiver talk was still there, so the GM brought the heat when he joined Jeremy and Joe on air. A new season brought new faces, but some old familiar sights, like Gabe Davis, Big Phil, Jordan Poyer, and Trey White. Sunday Night Football kicked off the final year at Highmark. New memories soon to be built across the street in Orchard Park. Downtown is where the Sabres play, and they wanted to set a new tone. They traded away JJ and got back Kesselring and Doan. The team started their second season under head coach Lindy Ruff, but another slow start meant breaking the drought would be tough. Midway through December, and not a lot was shining, so Kevin Adams was fired and replaced by Kekalainen. They had a lot of injuries early and were playing a bunch of subs, but then they got hot and started stacking the dubs. Yarmo made quick changes, hiring hockey vets to his staff, giving some real hope they'll no longer be a laugh. Now it's exciting to wonder what 2026 may hold. Will we finally see playoff hockey for the boys in blue and gold? Meanwhile, Sabres roommates at KeyBank Center keep winning the whole darn thing. Our Bandits did it again, winning their third straight ring. There was another champion in Buffalo for the entire country to see. The UB women's team took home the NIT. Now George Halkovich's men's team is off to a blazing hot start. There's a resurgence of local hoops here, and they're playing a big part. Down at Bana, they're just so consistent under head coach Mark Schmidt. He dove into the portal and found guys who just fit. Now both coaches are showing what their programs can do. Not even the new year, and both are 11-2. In October, we saw a World Series just a bit to the north. The Blue Jays won 3 games, but couldn't get the 4th. Now we start the cycle over and get ready for another year. 12 months from now, there will be plenty new to cheer. But don't look too far ahead. There's really no reason. The Bills are in the playoffs again for the 7th straight season. 3 wins on the road would be quite the playoff hat trick, but this year could be the year with no Joe Burrow, Lamar, or Patrick. So buckle up, fans. We may be in for quite the ride. The next few weeks is when the Bills hit their stride. A new year is on deck with more champions to be made. 2026, the year of the Buffalo Parade. Happy holidays.
Well done. Great close. I laughed when you rhymed Shinin' with Kekalainen.
Okay. I had to work on that one a little bit.
We had a lot of recommendations right after you signed off yesterday about, like, Winin' was one we saw, but you did a good job.
Winin' was up there, and I just couldn't fit Winin' in the right context for a poem like this.
Shining was good. Also, did we need the Blue Jay shot there? It wasn't really a shot, I guess.
No, it was good. We had a World Series up north, and
Do you know what's funny? Really quick to wrap on this. I'm a Blue Jays fan, but pretty fair weather Blue Jays fan. I even said before that World Series, like, this is perfect because I'm going to be thrilled if they win, and I'm not going to care if they lose. And every time I hear them reference Sal, I get a pit in my stomach because of how it ended.
Really?
Really. Like, wow. I did not expect that. I went to Toronto last week and drove by the stadium, and I just, like, had my head in my hands. Like, you just said it, and, like, oh, the Blue Jays. But it's all right. It was great.
Yeah.
Great job.
No, I could have done more with that.
That was good.
Everybody knows I'm a Yankee fan.
Yeah.
I get it. And I'm like, you know what? But I got to give some love to the Blue Jays, what they did.
Yeah.
And, I didn't. So I had to do it in the right context. So
you did.
Yeah, that was good. I appreciate that. A few things here or there, like it just were tough rhyming. But you do these over the years, Joe. I went back and looked at other poems, and I don't want to recycle words, but sometimes you just have to have the same rhymes over and over. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How many years now have you done this? This has got to be like.
Oh, it's got to be at least 10 now.
10,
I think.
Right?
You know what's funny though? I'll be honest. I did not do it last year, and I think we got like kind of close, and the way the schedule's going, I just never got around to it. So we took a hiatus last year, I believe, if I remember right. I don't think I actually put one out last year, so we're back on the track again this year.
All right, we're back.
Speaking of rhyming.
Sal Capaccio. Great job, Sal. Thanks for joining. Merry Christmas, and we'll talk on Friday.
You got it. Merry Christmas to you and everybody out there. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Sal.